Hi everyone! I love OCs. I love making them, I love giving them stories, and I love drawing them. For this video, I decided to draw your OCs. I made 2 posts on YouTube and Instagram asking you guys to give me your characters. The way I decided to do this is through an email and an Instagram hashtag. There were also a couple of rules: no spamming of one character, but you could send multiple OCs, just in separate emails and posts. You could also include some lore and your socials if you wanted. Originally I was gonna do 10 characters, 5 from emails and 5 from Instagram, but I got quite a few suggestions, so I decided to double it and do 20. Most of the characters were picked out randomly, but a few were actually handpicked. Out of 10 characters, 7 are random, and 3 are ones that caught my eye. Unfortunately, I couldn't film myself choosing the characters in real time, but at least I got screen recordings. Anyway, let's just get into it. There's a lot to go through, starting with emails. Right away, sorry if I mispronounce any usernames. For the first character, I scrolled almost all the way down, back and forth, and got this. I'm assuming her name is Daff. There wasn't any lore included, but the character belongs to Bartleby the Gnome and Square Line Art on Instagram, who also made the drawings provided. This was a really good first pick for me. I feel like it's pretty in my comfort zone. A lot of the pieces in this video were very experimental for me, in one way or another. With this piece, I didn't do anything too crazy. It was interesting to try and recreate the facial features. The original art style is very simple, at least on the face, while mine is more detailed. I always find it interesting combining both. The design is so cute, though I wasn't sure if the hatching on the purple parts are for shading or an actual pattern. I decided to make it into a pattern. Sorry if that's not the intention. The patterns on the skirt and ties were a lot of fun as well. Overall, I like this one a lot. It was a good start. Next character is a little bit out of my comfort zone, so I knew this would be a challenge. His name is Ethan. He belongs to Avocado Baby 25. He's a Minecraft Warden hybrid, and the drawing is made by Mellow High. For this piece, I decided to do a portrait and play around with some dramatic lighting. I wanted to go for an uncanny kind of vibe. I wasn't given any info about Ethan's personality, so sorry if it doesn't really fit him. The shading was tricky. I still need to work on that. Last second, I decided to put a pixel filter on it as well, cause, Minecraft. I wasn't sure if the dots on his face are piercings or not. I ended up making them into cheek piercings, but they look vague enough in the end. This one isn't too bad, I think. The shading was difficult for me, but with some filters as last touches it looks convincing enough. When I saw the third character, I knew this would be challenging as well. She belongs to J.N. Konka. Her name is Shinomiya Aki, and I do apologize if I pronounce any of this wrong. She is a prodigy exorcist of the Shinomiya clan. Since she was young, she has honed her spiritual power to banish evil spirits back to the land of the dead. Ooh, most know her as an expressionless girl only focused on exorcism, but with her friends she's really sarcastic and fun. Love that. Her design is so cool looking, but I was a bit tired that day, so I did a portrait again. Her face was really fun to do. The original style is again more simple, so there was a lot of interpretation for me. I imagine her looking like a cat a little bit. I didn't do line art here. I thought the softer look would work well here. I put a lot of effort into the face and hair, and from there got a little lazy, to be honest. But despite that, I still like the end result. She's so cool. Next character is from Skeletonin. Their name is Fringe. Love that name, by the way. They go by she, they pronouns, and there wasn't any lore included, so there was a lot of my personal interpretation. To me, Fringe seemed really mischievous. I also love the asymmetry in her design and the scratchy shading. This is another portrait. I promise there won't be only portraits. I borrowed a lot of coloring elements from my reference, and I really like how it looks in the end. I love the hairstyle. It makes the silhouette so interesting. I did very minimal shading on this one. I felt like flatter colors would work better here. This drawing didn't take me long at all, but I like it so much. This character is so fun. I was really excited to work on the next character. Here she is! Her name is Miss Natasha. She's a bar singer from the 1950s. She dreams of becoming a big actress or singer, but lives in a less than ideal situation with an abusive husband. Aww. She belongs to S0 Sna, and aww. Get her to an audition now! She looks so beautiful and sweet, and I love her pose. I wanted to do a similar one at first, but just couldn't get the face angle right for the life of me. So I opted to a front angle, with her hand on her arm, Marilyn Monroe vibes. Which is funny because it was noted that the dress she's wearing is literally the pink Marilyn Monroe dress. I really love the colors here. I mean, it's just pink and blue, but they look so pretty together. The bright blush and dark eye makeup are also so pretty. I really like how this one turned out. Get her on stage immediately! The next character is this. He belongs to Jade B. Jones 07. His name is Ozzy, and there wasn't any info included, so I improvised. Also, this isn't a portrait. Ozzy has wings and a halo, so I assume he's some kind of angel. He also seems like a really chill and laid-back character, so I thought he was perfect for a pose practice. I went for an upside-down floating pose. Maybe Ozzy is flying around and relaxing. Though, because he's upside down, I had to do some minor tweaks to the design. I closed up his jacket, and the wing position was a bit confusing to me. I'm still not sure if it makes sense with the angle. I had a lot of fun with this one, especially the hair. I really like big hair. Hope this fits his character. The last randomized character for now is this. His name is Altair. He is a traumatized failed god. He didn't make it to full godhood. Ooh, interesting. And he's made by Orange Bun B. I knew this would be challenging, and I used him for another shading experiment. I gave him a serious, maybe a bit of a bitter expression. Interpreting the features was challenging. The shading was once again tricky for me. I also left out some details because I knew that the background would be pitch black. I imagine he's in some kind of void or something like that. I think the final drawing looks okay. I like how bright the eyes and hair are. For our first hand-picked character, I chose this one. His name is Rain, and he belongs to Jack McAllister 223. There wasn't any lore included. I'm assuming he's some kind of dragon hybrid, and from the reference I got, he looks really fun and sweet. The design is really cool, and I was really excited to use him for a fun pose. I used this one. It looked kind of animalistic to me. Also, yes, I am drawing over my references when doing complicated poses. Usually I wouldn't, but I wanted to save some time. It's okay to do, as long as you aren't tracing over someone else's art, you are honest about that, and you don't rely on that every single time. I also adjust the body so that the head doesn't look out of place. Anyway, back to the drawing. I did no line art here again, and really took my time with all the layers. I almost didn't give him a nose to match the original design more, but I didn't really like how that looked. I think the final product turned out really good. I love this little guy. Next character I chose is this one. I loved all the frills and curls. They belong to Angela 1470. There was no info included, so this is purely based off of vibes. I did a portrait again. The references I got are traditional drawings, so I had to kind of match the colors the best I could. I love drawing blue-eyed characters just staring into your soul. Especially with how I color eyes now, I feel like it makes it look more intense. I gotta say, I really respect the original artist's commitment to drawing and shading all those frills and curls. That takes a lot of patience. Patience that I do not have. Whenever I draw something like this, I simplify it a lot. I still had fun though. In the end, I really like this. This character has a really cute design. And the last character from the emails is gonna be this one. The design and art style are so unique. I knew this would be challenging for me, but I wanted to give it a try. They belong to Inchiworm, love that name. Their name is Aries, and they are part of an alien punk band, Nebulux. God, I love those names. The art style is so different from mine, not to mention that it's an alien. The sketching stage was a bit difficult. I want to make these characters look as accurate as possible. Sometimes I straight up borrow elements from the original art styles, but I also want it to be within my style instead of just recreating someone else's style, you know? Anyway, it doesn't look too bad in the end. I love how simplified the original style is, and the turned noses are so interesting. It's just so wormy. Like, it made me think of those felt worms. Then I saw the username and was like, yeah, makes sense. This drawing was definitely experimental for me, but I like it a lot. This made me want my own alien OCs. Now, moving on to Instagram submissions. I got a lot less of them over there, but still a good amount. First character I got is this. When I saw this, I was immediately excited. This is such a cool design, and it's something right up my alley. He belongs to Neko KVMAA. His name is Terrence Nightingale, alias Lewis Carroll. He has his own wonderland that he can transport him and others to at will, as long as there's a rabbit hole nearby he can use as a gateway. Before I read his description, I did get Alice in Wonderland, Mad Hatter vibes from him, maybe a little bit of Discord, or at least my interpretation of him. I knew that this needs a full body and a fun pose. I found a floating pose and went crazy. Maybe this is him falling through a rabbit hole or something like that. I really enjoyed this. I love the makeup, I love the hair, and I love all the different fabric patterns. It's all very different, but it works together so well. However, I did have to improvise a bit on the shoes due to the pose. This one was a lot of fun. I love this. Next character I got is this one. She belongs to _villain jester. Her name is Ophelia. She's an 18-year-old pianist. She was raised by rich parents, the owners of a few successful companies. She always dreamed of being on stage, leading to their loud personality. I love this. This one was a coloring experiment for me. I do sometimes experiment with colorful line art, but even then it's usually a dark color. This design is asking for a pastel color scheme, so I went for a brownish color this time, and in the end it looks really nice, I think. I think darker line art wouldn't have worked as well. In the end, this one turned out really nice. I really like how the colors worked out. I hope the expression and pose fit this character. Next character is this. They belong to Noah 1415 and their name is Sylvie. There was no lore included. This character really reminded me of my old clown OCs. If you've been watching me for a while, you might remember them, and I use those characters to draw complicated poses, so this is what I went for with Sylvie. I found this pose and went to work. I had to improvise with the shoes again since they're not visible on the reference. I really love drawing clown makeup, and this one is really cool. The outfit is also really detailed, and I again put myself in a bit of a pickle with the pose I chose. I definitely had trouble with which color goes where, but I love the final piece. This really made me want to bring back my clown characters. They could use a little redesign though. The next character I got is this lovely girl right here. When I saw this, I was immediately so excited. She belongs to Quida OXE. Her name is Blythe. She's a succubus. She was unknowingly summoned by her geeky occult boyfriend, liked the mortal realm, and decided to stay. Love this so much. This is the first half body in this video. I tried doing perspective here, but I'm not sure how well it worked. But her face turned out so adorable, and again, big hair. I love big hair, and I love the original artist's style, I have to say. This is one of my favorite pieces from this video. Blythe is just so cute, I cannot. The next character is actually from Neko KVMAA again. This time it's this pastel frilly lady. Her name is Clementine Clark, alias Louisa May Alcott. She's trans femme in a child protection unit and deals with most of the cases helping women escape abuse. She also makes a lot of her own clothes, and her style is meant to be a mix of Victorian and Garo fashion. Love that. For this one, I decided to do a portrait to focus on her makeup. The placement of the arms was a bit of a struggle, but I like it in the end. I love the many bows and frills. Also, these colors are so lovely. I love pastels. This drawing was one of the quicker ones, but I really like it. You guys are really cooking with these designs, I can't. Next character is going to be this guy. I immediately knew this would be challenging. He belongs to Mochi Stars Art _vlog, and his name is Reggie. He's a sea monster, and there wasn't any other info included. There were a few expressions included, and I really like the shy one in particular, so I went in that direction. This actually came together much smoother than I was expecting. I almost gave him a nose like I normally draw them, but decided that a much flatter nose would fit a sea monster character much better. Things like this really help me expand my style. I love it. I like how bright the colors are. That's not something I usually do. In the end, I really love the expression and pose I gave him. For the background, I just used a picture of water surface. My motivation only spread to his face. Sorry. But yeah, really fun design that was really fun to draw. The last randomized character in this video is going to be this. Her name is Akatsuki and she belongs to _heartsart. She's in a killing game where everyone is fighting to win money, similarly to Danganronpa and Squid Game. Her talent is being a matchmaker. She's really good at making couples and knowing when someone has a crush. Aw, I feel bad because usually these characters die in games like this. But I was really excited to do this. Like I said, I like pastel color schemes, but this one also has brown. I noticed that brown looks really nice with pastels. On the face, there was a lot of interpretation, but I hope I translated it well. And say it with me, big hair. I love big hair. This hairstyle is so cute. I don't think I've done something like this before. I think she turned out really cute in the end. I really like the pose I gave her, the face, the colors. She just looks so sweet. Moving on to the handpicked characters, first one I chose is this. The artist is Nico T, and this is their persona. I really like the design and overall aesthetic. However, since the face is from a side view and I didn't have a reference for the other side of the face, I had to work around that. So I tried to do a backwards pose, kind of. I was originally planning to do a full body, but on that day I was tired, so I ended up doing a half body. Still, I really like the end result. I love the outfit, the hair, the piercings, the tattoos, the little hair thing. Sorry, I don't know what they're called exactly. And I just had to include those spiral stars for the background. I love them so much. Another thing that's different here is I did not recolor the line art like I usually do. I could say it was on purpose, but that would be a lie. It doesn't ruin it though, I like the look. Almost done. Next, I picked this drawing by Rabbit Raccoon. Her name is Erica, and I'm assuming she's an actress. I like that this is a magazine cover. I decided to basically redraw this in my style with a few tweaks. This is also in black and white, something I don't usually do, and I thought it would be very fitting to do some dramatic lighting here. I went for a spotlight shining on her. I also zoomed in on her face way more compared to the reference. I had so much fun with this. Her facial features turned out so nice, and the lighting is mostly good. I think it's a lot better than my previous attempts at this kind of lighting, but I forgot to add an extra shadow behind her, and only noticed it after I was done and saved the speed paint. I didn't feel like going back, so just ignore that. For the text, I tried to find the closest font possible. I was not gonna recreate all the text by hand, sorry. But I think this was a pretty successful experiment. I would watch a movie with her. Last character. Last but not least, I chose this beautiful goth creature by Afterlife 004. As soon as I saw this character, I couldn't scroll past. I just had to do them. Its name is Hexus Darkmoor. He goes by he, they, it pronouns, and is the artist D&D main with no real backstory. This design is so up my alley. I love goth characters, especially if they have tread goth makeup on, and I love drawing sharp ears, horns, and tails. I did have some trouble with the face. It's not in the speed paint, but I had to start over a couple times. Everything else went smoothly though. The tattoos were really fun to do too. I love drawing tattoos, they add so much to the character, but boy does it take a while. Another thing I did is I made the hands bigger than I usually would to resemble the original more. I'm not sure if it's just part of the original artist's style in general, but I thought it would add to the inhuman design. I also added a frame resembling the tattoos to spice up the background, and here's the final drawing. It's definitely one of my favorites from this, but honestly all of them were a lot of fun and I'm happy with all of them. This one was a good character to wrap this up with. And this is finally it. Boy, did I really set myself up for a challenge with this, but this was really worth it. I hope I did your characters justice. These designs were so different, so cool in their own ways. A lot of them really took me out of my comfort zone, which is really good. That's what helps me learn and expand my style. Also, I really recommend checking out these artists. Sorry if I didn't pick your character, but don't be too sad because I plan on making this an ongoing series on my channel. It's such a great way for me to interact with you guys. I don't know how frequent this will be, but I think it will be really cool to do every once in a while. But this is all from me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that. Check out my other socials, they will be on the screen and in the description. Stay safe, and I'll see you in another video. Bye!